Located 5 kilometres from Gunning in the Southern Tablelands of New South Wales, sits this almost forgotten monument commemorating the starting position of the Hume-Hovell expedition to Melbourne, which set the overland path between Sydney and Melbourne that we now call the Hume Highway. The cow paddock that was once Hume's sheep station is now empty except for the odd cow paddy and a rusting memory. This 15,000 gallon water tank, dating to approximately 1901, marks the site of the long-gone Fish River station. Opened in 1875 and known as Tank, the station with its 52 metre long platform was a request stop and sat about 6.5 hours train ride from Sydney. The station sat slightly south from the water tank, approximately here on the downside of the main south line, and the signal box approximately here on the upside. The station was renamed to Fish River in 1877. The site was the scene of a major train collision in 1888 that we'll go into later. Passenger services were closed in 1975, but the signal box remained for some time before it was also removed. Sitting about 500 metres south of the tank, at the station site sits the Fish River and Fish River Viaduct. Situated in the field next to the river sits an old structure, the Fish River pumping tank. Made from wrought iron sheeting, this shed sits on top of a brick tank. Its purpose was to pump water from the river into the catchment tank below and then pump it up to the station and the water tank there to supply steam engines. Taking a closer look, we can see the double wooden goods doors and heavy RSJ that would have supported a pulley to raise and lower goods and equipment. We can also see that there was a substantial electricity supply to the shed to operate the pumps. The supply line, now long gone, would have run on telegraph poles along the rail line. At the bottom of the tank we can see the 2 inlet pipes from the river and the single outlet pipe to the water tank slightly higher. The pumping shed was accessed by a single steel ladder that went up to a wooden platform above. Let's take a close look. The interior of the shed remains mostly complete, with the majority of the electrical supply equipment still remaining. The sediment tank, although missing the pumps, still holds sediment from the last time it held water. You can see here that the outlet pipe is higher as to not take up any debris or sediment. The electrical panel shows the changeover switch from pump 1 to 2 that was supplied by 4 15-volt mains, and the panel itself is covered in dates dating back to 1962, possibly the last time the station pumped water to the tank. The area, although beautiful, is marked by a dark date. It was the 27th of October 1888, around 4:40 am. A goods train travelling north to Sydney had stopped at the water tower to refill its water supply. It was a foggy morning and visibility was quite low. The goods train was on the long side, and as a consequence some of its last wagons were stationary over the bridge. The second train was also travelling north and was about 10 minutes behind the first. As Mr. Hill, the driver of the second train, negotiated the grade down to the river, saw the danger ahead and reacted, but the momentum of the train was too great. The driver of the stationary train, Mr. Chandler, also recognised the imminent danger. He throttled the locomotive but had created such a large head of steam, resulting in wheel slip, the engine did not move. It was too late. The second train hit the brake van of the first with great force, becoming jammed in the van, which actually saved it from toppling into Fish River 40 feet below. The guard in the brake van had heard the whistle of the approaching train and had dived off, clinging to the girder of the bridge. A fettler named Mr. Wisby was not so lucky, receiving fatal head injuries. As we leave the site, I'm reminded that history lies all around us if we only open our eyes to see it. Coming up this month, we're filming in the Rydal area of New South Wales. Until next time. What lurks in your abandoned spaces?